What bothers me is when a crackpot goes on YouTube and talks about somebody's horse and doesn't know anything.
A crackpot. You know what? I actually think all of the respect I had for this channel is out the window. Hey bitch, and welcome back to another video. So, I don't even know how to open this video, to be honest. You know what? Actually, I do. I just launched a new collection on linkequestrian.com. It's just a mysterious collection. I don't know. Sometimes I draw weird shit and I love it. So this collection is out now on sweatshirts and t-shirts. Pick those up if you are interested. But yeah, bitch, let's talk about this family. I did not expect that they would make a response video. I thought that it was going to be either one of two outcomes. I thought that they were either going to A, completely ignore my video like they do with all of their comments and not respond to me at all, or I thought that they were going to post a video of them having a vet check done and being like, oh, hey, thank you so much for making this video. Thank you for your concerns. We appreciate it. We wanted to let everyone know we're doing a vet check and we're doing everything we can to move forward. So I thought it was going to be one of those two outcomes. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that they would make a video responding to me. Let's open this video by saying that this video is not to hate on them. This is not to send them any hate. Please do not cancel them, and definitely do not send any hate to their daughters, because here's the thing. Their daughters are not the problem. The trainer is, and the parents are. And that was the whole point of the first video I made on them, which if you haven't seen that video, you have to go watch it before you watch this video to understand the full context of everything that I was saying. Their reaction to me, girl, it was just too tantalizing to not respond to. And I haven't even seen it yet. I just cannot believe that they titled their video reacting to the hate video about us. This is the exact problem that people have with you, Laura. This is why people do not like you. It is because of your refusal to accept valid criticism and advice. There is a huge difference between trying to help somebody and giving them constructive criticism or telling them that what they're doing is wrong and why it's wrong versus actually just hating on them and sending them death threats and bullying them, which is not at all what my video was. And if you think that that's what my video was, then that's exactly why there is a serious problem with what's going on with you and your channel. It's just deflection, and it's a very convenient way for Laura to push this off as not her problem. Oh, I'm just being hated on. Nothing else. Okay, last thing I want to say before I get into this is thank you guys so much. If you look at their comment section, you can see the overwhelming majority of people trying to reason with them and explain that my video is not hate, it's trying to help them, and they're just deflecting. They're not wanting to accept any criticism or advice. I want to say a massive thank you, first of all, to every single person in their comment section, because you guys are the best. I love you guys. Thank you so much for actually taking the time to watch my last video and understand what I was saying and how it's not bullying, it's not hate.
Sam and I decided to make the video without the girls, even though they are fully aware of the video that was made about us. But because it was addressed to us, Sam and I decided that we make this video ourselves.
I said at multiple points in my video to not let the girls watch the video, because here's the thing. I know Sophie and Gabby are probably going to see this video. Let me just say something really quick. My video was not addressed to you guys because you guys are kids and you're learning, you are progressing in your riding, and it's not your fault that you guys are having issues. It's not your fault that your horses are having issues. There is nothing wrong with you guys at all. That's why I did not want you guys to watch my last video, because the thing is, you guys have every right to ride horses, have a great time, enjoy what you're doing, but the only problem I have with what you're doing are your parents and your trainers that are unfortunately not allowing you guys to progress in the way that you should, because they're not teaching you adequately or appropriately, and they're not taking the proper care of your animals. So it's actually hindering y'all's progression as equestrians and in your riding. So that's exactly why I did not want you guys to watch my last video.
So first of all, in the video, she said that she tried to message us several times and that we are not responding to her messages. That is completely false. Long ago when we first started our channel, she did ask a question in the comments and I responded to her, but she's never ever tried to contact us in any way, shape, or form since then.
Let me address that very quickly. I never directly messaged them, and I never said that I sent them any text messages. I don't have their phone number, and I don't ever send people DMs on Instagram. What I meant by I've tried to talk to you guys and give you guys advice is I have talked about you guys publicly, which I said in my last video several times in my Raleigh Reacts videos, when your videos were sent to me to react to by your fans who were genuinely concerned about your children and their progress. I gave you guys advice multiple times a year in multiple reaction videos for probably the first 3 years that you guys were on YouTube, but they never addressed or reacted to any of those videos, okay? The reason I did not reach out to you guys personally, like in a DM or something, as I said in my last video, I felt like it wasn't going to do anything because your fans and other lesson instructors and even some veterinarians have been commenting on your videos trying to help you guys. You guys have just been completely ignoring those, completely refusing to accept criticism. You guys have been blowing off your own fans and their commentary, which is no more valuable than my own, for the last several months, if not years. Why would I then assume that you guys are going to respond to me or accept any of my criticism or advice or help if I personally reached out to you?
Before we get started, I wanted to take a second to point out the fact that Raleigh says that she is in vet school. And we have a really close friend who's a vet in the States, and I was talking to her last night when this video came out, and she was explaining to me how one of the very first things that she learned in vet school, the VCPR, and if you don't know what that is the vet client-patient relationship. And basically what they say in vet school is that you cannot diagnose any animal over a video, over a photo, over the phone. It's one of the reasons why when you call your vet and you send them videos and you send them photos, they say, well, I can't diagnose over the phone. So basically what they teach is that you cannot diagnose any animal without a relationship with the client and the animal without knowing their medical history.
So obviously I know exactly what she's talking about. And let me just say, this is something that's been pointed out by people in her comment section. Me giving criticism and advice and judging what I'm seeing in a video, that is not me diagnosing you. I would absolutely never diagnose somebody else's horse in a video, because here's the thing, I cannot diagnose people until I am a DVM. I'm currently not a DVM. I am a student of veterinary medicine. My only intention was to give criticism and advice. If I was trying to diagnose your horse in my video, I would not have said to you that you need to have a vet check done. Because what would be the point of you having a vet check done if I was a DVM that was clinically diagnosing your animal? There would be no point. That's why I said that you need to have a vet check done by a licensed veterinarian. Essentially what she's doing right here is she is trying to discredit everything I'm saying by making up excuses as to why I would be uncredible. And let me just point out, there are multiple pages online and multiple veterinarians that will give advice and critiques and criticism and try to help people over the internet, people who are reaching out for help. I think this Facebook page is one of my favorites. Just because a veterinarian cannot be there in person to diagnose an animal, it doesn't mean that a veterinarian cannot give their advice on what they think is likely going on with that animal. Because veterinarians do that all the time. They will talk to people over the phone, they will email people back who sent them videos or photos. So by saying that a veterinarian's opinion and advice is completely invalid because they're not there in person is absolutely ridiculous. And it's actually really sad that this is how she's opening up her video.
So I wanted to get into the issue. It was a video of Sophie riding Finn the other day, and this girl claims that he was lame in the video, and What she described in the video were a few seconds where he took a misstep. A couple of times he took a misstep. We saw it, our trainer saw it, we knew what was happening. This is not a lameness issue. This is an issue of Finn being out of balance. The reason he's struggling so much right now, and has been for the last few months, because Sophie is growing so much right now. She is 5'4". She is well within the range to ride a large pony. She's well within the 15% body weight ratio that she should have to ride Finn, and she is well within the height. She is starting to outgrow him. But what the video did not tell you was that there are other things involved, not just weight and height. Some ponies are super sensitive, and Finn is super sensitive, and he notices the growth that Sophie's doing. He notices her height. He, when they ride, it's a constant struggle of both of them trying to balance each other. We're in a transitional stage, and I've been telling you guys for months now that we are transitioning Sophie to a horse. It's something that's a process. Like I keep telling you guys on our channel, we are in the process of transitioning Sophie to a horse.
I agree she should move up to a horse. I said that in my video. I said that it is time for her to move up to a bigger horse. Going back to her saying that Finn just misstepped a couple times and that he is working on his balance, here's my problem with that. Sophie cannot also be working on her balance while riding a horse that needs to be working on his balance. Lameness is something that is visible. A lot of the time you can clearly see lameness in a horse. And let me add, you do not need to be a DVM to see lameness in a horse. Any responsible equestrian should be able to recognize the physical signs and differences within their animal. And if Finn has always been moving like that the entire time you guys have had him, that's a clear sign that he has always had a serious physical problem that needs to be checked out again by a veterinarian. And here's the other thing. If she truly believed that Finn was not lame, her response to me would have been a vet check. And she would have had a vet come out, and she would have had a vet do an entire diagnosis, filmed a whole video on that, proving me wrong. But she didn't do that because she knows he's lame. And this is the issue that a lot of people have with their videos, is the fact that they deflect responsibility and they do not want to be accountable for the care and treatment of these horses. There are clear, visible signs of lameness that I pointed out in my last video that anybody should be able to establish with their horse.
I think the thing that bothered me the most about the video is that Raleigh claims to have so much education and so much knowledge, and yet she missed so many things. She claimed that our horse was lame and showed few little tiny clips of him taking a misstep, which I explained is a balance thing.
The reason why I only showed short clips is for people who otherwise do not have the same level of education to be able to see the tiny, noticeable instances of lameness. So I chose the most obvious clips in your video. However, you can see the lameness in Finn the entire video.
We had our monthly chiropractor appointment, and she said the Finn was in great shape. She does all of everything. His neck, she's given us exercises to do with Finn. We do them all the time. We do neck stretches, we do leg stretches to keep him supple. He had a little tiny bit of tightness in his lower back, which does often happen when kids are learning to frame a horse, especially if the horse is not pushing from behind correctly. So the day after that video was taken, where Raleigh claims that Finn was so lame, our trainer did ride him, and he always sends me video every single time he rides him. Does a trainer ride on him? Because he's always fighting with balance with Sophie, who is starting to become too tall for him. Having our trainer ride him helps to keep him supple. So I'm going to post a little video of that right now, of the last ride that our trainer had, which is the day after we posted our video of Sophie's ride. And hopefully you can tell that he has absolutely no lameness issues, and he doesn't even brace very much, because Brandon is experienced and knows how to balance himself and ride him.
Before she even goes any farther, did you see how much he was bobbing his head in the trainer video? Girl, I mean, these are obvious signs of lameness even with your trainer riding him. Just because your trainer is forcing his head to be on vertical, that doesn't mean he's collected, that doesn't mean he's balanced, and that doesn't mean that he's not lame. And going back to her previous point of a chiropractor, equine chiropractors are not doctors of veterinary medicine. They also do not have the ability to give clinical diagnoses.
Currently, Finn is riding in Gabby's saddle because he prefers it over Sophie's saddle, and we want Finn to be happy. Sophie does have a saddle. Finn does not move as well in it, so we don't use it. It is also a little tiny bit small for her, but because Finn is a large pony, we can't go bigger in a saddle to accommodate Sophie's needs.
Okay, I understand that, but if you cannot get your daughter a bigger saddle for that small of a horse, don't you think that says something? She shouldn't be riding him.
So I'm going to read to you guys what a brace is. A brace is resistance, whether it be in the horse's face, shoulders, neck, ribs. A horse has to be soft and relaxed in order for it to perform to the top of its level. Bracing can show up in anything from catching, leading, loading, and most often riding. A brace is tension that runs through the horse, which causes the horse to stiffen in its movement. When a horse braces, they get very stiff and will not give or respond to pressure from the rein, bit, leg, and so on. They can't move fluidly, and you don't have the control that you need. Even top athletes face braces on a day-to-day basis. It's something that's super common, and we are working to do the best we can to help Finn. We are, like I said, we are working on a saddle. We have been working, Brandon gives him training rides to keep him supple. We have a chiropractor that comes monthly. We have a massage therapist that comes. We did so many changes to facilitate the process of moving Sophie into a bigger horse, and it's not so easy to just rip a child off a horse.
It is that easy, actually. I've done it. I've told many lesson students that it was time that they moved off that horse and gone up a level. This is exactly why I tell kids all the time to not buy ponies. But again, going back to her talking about bracing. Bracing is just tension. It has nothing to do with your horse's lameness, okay? First of all, a lot of horses that brace, they brace for a myriad of different reasons. What I was pointing out in your video was not the bracing. It was him being hollow, dragging his legs, and bobbing his head repeatedly on top of tripping, which has nothing to do with bracing at all. What I said was Sophie is not good enough to be riding Finn. Because first of all, Finn shouldn't have a rider at all while he recovers from his lameness, which hopefully is reversible. But Finn needs a rider that is smaller and stays balanced and can actually train him to be collected, to use his back muscles, which is going to take several years to get him in that position. By putting a novice rider on a novice horse, that is just a recipe for disaster, which is why I also pointed out that your children are at risk of serious injury because they're riding horses that they shouldn't be riding.
I've spent this morning messaging back to a lot of young kids, a lot of young girls who say, oh no, Finn is lame, please stop riding him. And it saddens me to my very core that there is someone out there that claims to have knowledge and be in vet school and have experience that is spreading misinformation. It's so simple to say that Sophie is growing out of Finn and that she needs to move to another horse, and that is what we've been working towards. We've been sharing that in every single video from months ago, from probably September. We've been sharing all these videos, we've been sharing all this information in videos. It saddens me that somebody would say awful things without doing their homework and going back through the videos to see what changes we've been making, to see things that we were doing. It seems so alarming to me that someone who claims to have so much knowledge and understanding is unable to tell if a horse is lame or if they're having balance issues and if a child is just simply growing out of her pony. Like, it's alarming to me that somebody with an audience would go out of their way to talk terrible and shed untruths about a situation that they are physically unable to verify and to understand because they're not a part of Finn's medical history or Finn's journey. To just take a couple of snapshots out of a video and listen to some people who feel that they know better than us and make a video about it that influences so many young people that are sending me messages saying, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but Finn is lame.
This is the most disappointing reaction or response ever. Laura even knows that she's deflecting. That's why she's rambling and she's talking in circles and she's saying the same thing over and over again. First of all, I find it incredibly condescending to say that the criticism and advice of my audience was nothing but kids. The majority of my audience is over 18. Actually, the majority of my analytics are between 16 and 30. So the vast majority of criticism that you've been getting are from full-grown adults that are well and capable of making their own decisions and giving their own advice and critiques. So I find it incredibly condescending to call my audience nothing but children. I actually am highly offended that Laura would refer to me as uneducated and spewing complete and utter nonsense to my audience, because something that I take pride in is my ability to produce factually correct videos. Whenever I speak on subjects, obviously there are times where I make mistakes, but I try my absolute hardest to do my homework and do my research before making these videos. And you know what, Laura? You have not just been getting comments about Finn being lame since I made my video. They have been going on for weeks, and I have refrained from making a video about you guys for several years.
What bothers me is when a crackpot goes on YouTube and talks about somebody's horse and doesn't know anything. And what also bothers me is all these young kids are getting on, watching a video and believing in that person when you should be using your own mind and not judging things on one person's video.
A crackpot. You know what? I actually think all of the respect I had for this channel is out the window. To refer to somebody who is trying to give you constructive criticism and advice, who actually has a medical background, as a crackpot, that is your own projection of your own insecurities of how you guys feel about yourselves. And it's incredibly demeaning and disrespectful to treat another equestrian in the industry who is just trying to help you in that manner. Because I actually feel like I was incredibly reserved and respectful of not only your family, but your children in the video I made about you. I could have been way worse. I could have said some really, really vile things and really shared my full opinion on what I believe is going on in your channel, but I refrained from doing that for the sake of your kids and your family, because I did not want to send you guys any hate.
This video that she made had a promotional video in it, had a promotional element, and when you have a brand deal and you put it on YouTube, part of your job is to make sure that the video gets the views that you need. And there are so many ways that people do this. You can use an engaging title that you know your viewers want to see, or you can make it about a product or something that's bigger. Like making a video about us ensures that she's going to get the views she needs to make the brand deal happy. And so we understand that that's where most of that was coming from. She had a brand deal and she needed to make her video get the views that she needed. But I just feel really sad that someone that claims to be as professional as she does would ever try and diagnose a horse in a video.
This is another way of her deflecting. First of all, she's trying to get my audience to think that I'm not credible. Now, going on to her talking about my promotion that I had in the last video. Listen, I have sponsorships in almost all of my videos. The only reason I don't have a sponsorship in this video is because this is a last-minute reaction to them. The brands that I partner with, I'm just going to be very candid with you guys. They don't care about how many views I make on a video. The brands pay me for the sponsorship before the video even goes out. So there would be no way for them to even know how many views the video is going to get. And there are plenty of videos of mine that have been sponsored that don't have any views on it, that get like maybe 20, 30,000 views. I don't have any control over that. So by her saying that I'm trying to create controversy to get views for a brand video is ridiculous, because the brand has already paid me for that sponsorship. They don't pay me based on how many views I get.
It just seems to be so against what animal activists would do. It seems to be so against, it's definitely against our morals. You guys should also know that hate channels make their living off of bashing other channels. That's how they make their income. That's how she makes her income. Hate channels have to make hate videos to continue their channel to...
So clearly Laura doesn't know anything about me. I own my own business, not to mention that I'm also in vet school and I have multiple other sources of income. YouTube is actually my least valuable source of income. So by her saying that I have to make videos, I have to do this for attention and whatever, Laura, I don't give a fuck about the videos and the money that I make off YouTube. I create my videos for activist work and activism. And you know what? You and your family have never had a problem with the videos I've posted until now, which shows your hypocrisy. Whereas you guys are totally okay with me calling out other people, and you're totally okay with my activism and for sticking up for the abuse of animals in regards to other people. But when it comes to yourself, now all of a sudden my channel is just a hate channel and there's no validity behind the things I post.
But people who go out of their way to make a video for a brand deal, to get views that they need for a brand deal, that is not, I can't take that seriously. That is having an ulterior agenda, in my opinion. If she really did truly have concerns for our horses, she could have messaged us, she could have asked us questions. I would gladly have talked to her. I talk to anybody who messages me. I think it's really important for us to understand, if a vet will not give you a diagnosis over a phone or an email or a video unless they know your horse's medical history or they have a relationship with you and your horse, then I think it's important that we realize that it can't be done by someone else.
She keeps talking in circles. They can't accept the tiniest bit of criticism, and that's why their daughters are still in the position they are. That's why they have not advanced at all in the equestrian community, and that's exactly why their channel is dying off. Also, she's trying to say that I'm clickbaiting and I'm trying to get views and attention. Girl, what do you think you're doing with every single video you post on the internet with your outrageously titled content? All I'm gonna say is that if Finn truly was not lame, their response to my video would have been a vet check. This just proves my point even further, that they're deflecting blame, they're calling me crazy, they're saying that my opinion has no value. So again, I'm gonna end this video by saying, please do not go send their family any hate. If anything, I would just recommend that people stop watching them. They're not the type of people who are responsible enough to be posting quality content to the internet. If you cannot even accept criticism, then the internet is not the place for you. And I feel really, really horrible for their daughters. This has nothing to do with their daughters. I hope that they can find their way in life and that they can become better equestrians. I think that this is a clear and obvious representation of the morality of these people and their complete disrespect and disregard for other professionals in the industry trying to help.